Oh, good morning, beautiful people. I'm so happy this week airlines announcement incoming, but before that, I've just heard from my beautiful friend Taya, who lives in Maui. So my Monday morning grumbles, Monday morning, have ended abruptly because this is the best news that everyone's safe and obviously heartbroken, but also in total Mauan fashion, all rallying to help each other. And if any little island could bounce back from something like what's happened in Maui, it's Maui. These little islands we live on are pretty strong and amazing. So my Monday has started very well with that news. But welcome to Pissweek Airlines flight 708 to Barcelona. Let's go there. Climb aboard quickly because we're already flying. If you didn't bring any beverages or drinks, or snacks, well, sucks to be you. Is that a recliner on the side of the road? No, it's a really ugly couch. It's a delightful 4 degrees Celsius. Heading for a gigantic 12 degrees Celsius today. Been bragging about how mild our winter's been, and we're copping an icy blast right now. The whole island is confused, like daffodils, jonquils, all the bulbs are out flowering. I haven't seen any cherry blossom yet, but it's definitely been very spring-like here for most of winter, apart from a handful of cold days. But yeah, we're copping a bit today. So, and yesterday was really cold too. But the mountain should be covered in snow. Anyone need a rabbit hutch? I think that was back there on the side of the road. Or mattress. I've noticed there's a few mattresses appearing for hard rubbish this time around, air conditioning units. But yeah, so I'm just absolutely stoked to have heard from Taya because they haven't had any power, internet connection, fires. I mean, it's a tiny island, and the fires were sweet, and they all know each other all over the island, and it doesn't matter if the fire's not where you are, the fire's where somebody you love is. But thankfully, she's been able to touch base because a lot of us were obviously concerned. So as she's probably, helping out wherever she can. That's just her personality, and it's everyone I met on Maui's personality. So it was such a great message to get from her that she's okay, and all of her friends and family and animals and everyone are all safe. But she was saying that, for every person they find who needs help, another one automatically appears. Obviously, the scale of it at the moment, they are already grieving those that they've lost, but are anticipating many more, sadly. It's a scary, scary thing. These fires and natural disasters are just getting so insane. I mean, Greece just keeps copping it too, and unfortunately, weather pundits are predicting a very dry, long, hot Australian summer, which, fires are sort of second nature to us, sadly, but everyone's putting out vibes that we don't get hit as hard as they're predicting. We haven't had a typical winter where plants get to go dormant, and although it's pretty green here where I live, which is weird because we're usually very yellow, we don't get a lot of rain, but other parts of the island are already looking like an you know, that dry Aussie summer. But really happy to hear about no one saying hello. It's so weird when you've got people watching and they don't speak. Hi. So yeah, aloha, Maui. Aloha means hello, goodbye, and love. It's a pretty special word. I still want to do my house swap with the Maui for 6 months, and there's a little town where I want to base myself and write a book. Like, it's my second favourite island in the world after Tasmania. They're very similar, in fact, just little island communities. The only difference is there's more palm trees there. But one thing I didn't expect when I went to Maui was the rolling green hills and the steep cliffs and the big fat moo cows and the little stone walls, and it's very English, and very Tasmania is very English too. And I just expected it to be this sort of tropical island with palm trees everywhere and Jack Johnson playing in the background, and I was pleasantly surprised driving everywhere. She circumnavigated uh, Maui, and it was mind blowing how many parallels to Tassie. And then my friend Taya, the one that's just got in touch this morning, she lived here with me for just over a month a few years ago, and then obviously when I went to Maui, I stayed with Pleasure, who sometimes comes into me a few weeks ago. Maui news. Go for it, Groovers. Not everything on this channel is doom and gloom. I had such a crazy weekend, though. I thought I had like this perfect, quiet, get heaps of things done because it's tax time. It's actually a bit past tax time for us. The non-Aussies, our financial year is actually 1st of July to the 30th of June. It's not the calendar year. And do you think I got that done before my appointment on Wednesday? No. Guess what I'm doing tonight when I go home? Huh. Okay, well, this is a really weird life. I mean, I was watching a station that was covering the fires in Maui on the weekend, and listening, and they had over 2 million subscribers and had 64 people watching. It's tough out there on the YouTube lands. Hey, how about the Matildas, Groovers? It's been quite the weekend, really. But no, at the moment I'm not talking about anything criminal. Maybe that's why nobody's joined me, because is my headline too positive? The drama community can suck a big fat dick. I'd probably have 100 people watching me. I mean, they can. clearly no one's seeking happy news on YouTube. Surprise, surprise. Pretty sad too that, well, I scouted, look, someone said hello, my God. Now it's 2 degrees. I was thinking of ending the live because I was just, from Monday morning, I was really happy to have finally heard from my friend in Maui. I mean, I've got a few friends in Maui, but my art friend in Maui made contact this morning and all my Monday blues went out the window. What is going on in Maui? You don't know? You don't know about the fires in Maui? You don't know? That's insane. Scout, there's been, this is how warped this planet is. There's been absolutely horrific fires. The little seaside village of Lahaina is completely gone, where Big Fleetwood's bar is and all the beautiful old historic buildings and the oldest banyan tree on Maui. It's the worst natural disaster in Hawaii ever. There's already, I mean, I don't even know the figure this morning because I've been desperately trying to, well, not desperately because I knew they didn't have power or internet, but I've been really hoping to hear from my favourite Mauan, because I have many friends there, but my most beautiful friend Taya, and she just messaged me this morning to let me know that she and hers are safe. But in typical Taya warrior woman fashion, she's getting her hands dirty and helping. But there's been the most horrific fires, like a serious natural disaster. Huge firestorm because it was also fanned by hurricane winds. And the problem with where Lahaina is situated is there's only one road in, and it's a coastal road. And even though you can go south from Lahaina further down to the southern end of Maui, it's a dead end. Like it goes sort of into wetlands and nature reserves, and then you get to the what has been called one of the most beautiful beaches in the world numerous times. I'm just amazed you didn't know. And weirdly, like right before you said hello, I was about to comment on how on the weekend I found one YouTube creator sort of in the diverse sphere of channels that I follow who was covering it, and she had like 40 people in there. But, you know, probably over on the Prima channels, they all had hundreds of people watching, people just ripping each other to shreds. And I was so grateful that it was headstones and headlines. I was in there chatting. I was so grateful that she was covering it. And there was actually one of her members is a Mauan resident. So it was really good to get some, not on the spot reporting, that sounds wrong, but a lot of her subscribers are American but don't know Maui very well. And Leo and I were having quite a good chat because Leo was like, oh my God, you're the most Mauan non-local ever, because I know Maui very well. They started last week and Taya's only just made contact with everybody today. It's been going for 8, and it's absolutely horrible. Like, the Taya actually said to me that for every person they're helping, another person appears, and they're already really grieving the people that they've lost. But I mean, the last number was 80, I think, or 84 or something that I saw. But they're saying potentially like 1,000. There's so many people missing and unaccounted for. Here's your favourite causeway, gorgeous. So yeah, I didn't check the latest. I mean, I'm not really that kind of morbid, keeping an eye on the death toll, but it was 80, around 80 yesterday. But Lahaina has been completely cut off. So, and the whole town, like, there's only a couple of buildings that didn't get destroyed. Like, it's gone. Your media have a lot to answer for, though. Like, I was sure when I put Maui in my title that you guys would all be aware of what's going on there. It's weird. Although, I mean, maybe you don't watch the news or Scouts Causeway, it is. But, yeah, it's been world news for a week. It's absolutely horrifying. And living in a country like Australia where we have horrific bushfires, I mean, the bushfires in Australia that I covered back in 2019, 2020, second worst bushfires ever on the planet recorded, because obviously there could have been all kinds of horrifying things going on before things were recorded. But it's interesting, like, if you look at fires in terms of what is deemed to be the worst, it's actually the amount of land acreage that's destroyed by the fire. It's not, they don't define the worst fire by death toll. But if you look at the list of the worst fire disaster in the world by death toll, it's actually the World Trade Centers. Oh, I wasn't having a go at you for not knowing. I was just surprised that you didn't know, because it's sort of, I mean, it's been very, maybe Australian media get very fired up about this sort of stuff because we too have horrific fires, but oh, he's a firefighter. I think I remember you saying that. Hey, SRB. Yeah, and it was an interesting, like headlines and headstones and headlines coverage of it was so good. But she was playing a lot of videos, and there were a couple of people in her chat that were just victim blaming. They were so critical, and they could have done more, and I don't think people understand what a firestorm is like. I mean, there were people in her chat saying, why couldn't a passenger jet have flown over and dropped water on the flames? I mean, passenger jets can't drop water on anything. But also, like, the firestorms we had here in 2018, the Dunalley bushfires, very similar situation to what's happened in Maui, where we had out-of-control fires. One was lit by a fucking arsonist, completely went down the Tasman Peninsula where I live. It was actually heading towards where I live, and there was a wind change, and it ended up going down the peninsula, and it was fanned by really strong winds. But firestorms are a completely different scenario to your typical bushfire. And around the planet now, very few people are seeing that old style of fire. Like a firestorm, the one we had, there are gigantic balls of flame that bounce. And that's why, like Dunalley, which was pretty much 50% of it was wiped out, and people were saying, how can there be buildings standing, and others were just essentially evaporated? And it's because these balls of fire actually bounce. Fucking terrifying. And the thing is, we tried to drop water as well, but you drop water to create like a you tried it. Firemen, as you would know, Scout, their job isn't to put fires out, it's to contain them and let them burn themselves out. But the water that fireys were trying to drop on the mainland bushfires in 2019, 2020, it was evaporating before it got to the ground. Like, you actually have to put drop that pink fire retardant stuff. And again, try to create a boundary essentially to contain it. But when you've got gigantic balls of fire that are bouncing, it's very hard to contain them. And then you look at the fires in Greece, and they're like these spiraling towers. And you can't get near them. Like, the heat is insane. And I just found it so weird that rather than empathy and compassion and concern being the go-to, there's still people, even with horrific fires, and at this point in time, 1,000 people unaccounted for, that you've got smartasses sitting at home on their computers, victim blaming, criticising them for not doing more. This isn't just like a little fire in the bushes behind your house because, a little ember left your fire pot and set fire to a bush behind your house. This is like mammoth firestorms fanned by hurricane winds. And knowing the geography of Maui, like Lahaina, you can't, it's not like there's 10 different roads you can take to get the fuck out of there. There's one coastal road, like I was explaining earlier, and that's it. And if you go south, you basically go to like an area of wetlands and nature reserves, and it's essentially a dead end. I mean, we drove down there, it's a dead end. And the only other way to sort of escape is you've got to go back out the coastal road a fair way, and then you can cut across the island, but it's not like 5 minutes up the road. And I mean, it's absolutely horrifying what some of these people went through. So many people tried to escape, and there's footage of cars that have just been absolutely incinerated, and many people jumped into the ocean because they couldn't get out, and getting down on the beach and into the water is a really good thing to do. But some people drowned. Not everyone's a great swimmer either. But also, even though you're in the water, you're still surrounded by fire, and it's still unbelievably hot, and there's still smoke. And I just couldn't believe the armchair detectives all sitting there criticising the fireys and postulating that a passenger jet could have dropped water on it. Are you fucking insane? And passenger jets don't even fly in and out of Hawaii. It's not like there would have been one just... If there was one that was somehow miraculously capable of dumping water onto firestorms, and there's not even like a commercial airport. Like the little planes you fly on around Hawaii from island to island are little. And they pretty much take off, give you a tropical fruit juice and land. Like, you pretty much go up, here's your juice, now we're landing. But once again, there's this astounding response by people who are sitting in the comfort of their homes. They're not looking at the devastation and destruction. They're not hearing how many people are unaccounted for. I mean, the entire island had no power, no internet, no way of contacting. I only heard from Taya this morning, right before I was getting in my car. And I was like, I don't care if I'm half an hour late for work. Like, I want to talk to her and check in on her. I was so relieved to hear from her. But instead of people's go-to being compassion and empathy, they're straight into criticising the people of Maui, implying they could have done more to stop it. Go fuck yourselves. How did human beings lose humanity to the point that you would rather be an asshole online when people are missing, when people have just gone through the most terrifying experience ever? Like, instead of looking at ways to send help to them, what can the communities do, checking in on your friends who have friends on Maui to see how they're coping without knowing if their loved ones are safe or not. Why is your go-to to be critical? Hey, Mandy Hall. God, it's only 2 degrees. That's cold. I'm glad I brought every warm. I'm wearing so many layers today. I was like, when I saw the maximum was going to be 12, and our office building is freezing on Mondays because there hasn't been anyone there on the weekend and the heating hasn't been on. I'm really keen to chat to you guys too when I'm in the car park, because obviously right now I can't read chat. I mean, I saw Mandy Hall's name, but keyboard bullies I saw just then. Yes. It's so, I mean, I don't know what has to happen in the world for people to put their kindness first. I mean, sadly, I know the answer to that question. If it's in their backyard, then they'll show kindness and they'll expect the world to extend love to them and help as much as they can. It's a horrible NIMBY thing, not in my backyard. And I'm sorry, but that's just fucked up. It's fucked up that with the intelligence and apparently the emotional, what's the word? Capacity that we have as living creatures compared to other living animals and so on. Like, why do humans choose to be cunts? And I guess that's what a lack of empathy is, SRB. It's people not being able to put themselves in someone else's shoes. But I honestly don't think that anyone, any human being with any emotional maturity at all needs to actually experience the horror of a firestorm to show compassion to those who have just been put through that. Like, there's plenty of people describing what happened and how terrifying it was and how quickly Lahaina was engulfed. And I don't think you've got to actually survive a fucking firestorm to be able to show compassion to people who have just been through a firestorm. Like, how emotionally stunted are we that we're like, oh, well, I couldn't possibly imagine what those people would go through, even though those people are standing there talking about what they've just been through. So it just blows my mind. Just miserable, shitty people who are always better than anyone else, know more than anyone else, know more than. I mean, look at the true crime community. The sleuths who think that they know more than the FBI do. I love the cunt word too. It's definitely not an excuse. But it's just like I don't have anyone. If there was anyone in my real life who was like that, they would so not be in my real life. They would be like, fuck you, not hanging out with you, don't call me again. Go fuck yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong, I deal with clients a lot. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, that's not fair, but, well, I do. I have quite a few clients that don't have any sort of appreciation for no power. They have serious psychological and neurological injuries, and I don't have an issue with them maybe not being a little bit more grateful or aware of how good they have it sometimes. But they've actually got conditions that explain their way of thinking. And for the most part, they all reach a point when they are aware of their situation and can find gratitude. Like they strive to find that despite what they're going through. They're fucking fighters, they want to come out the other end stronger and more resilient. And I'm not saying all of them are even capable of that, but the ones that are, that's a pattern that you see over and over and over again. Whereas when we first meet them, like they're just, and understandably, they're going through a process of adjusting to this whole new way of thinking and reacting to situations and so on. But you get to witness firsthand the way they change as they go through the process. And they're put under immense stress and unbelievable stress. And you can bet your left tit they're not sitting on their computers being fuckheads and victim blaming. And like the people that do that for all intents and purposes are probably healthy, capable adults. They just like being assholes. Why? Yeah, I mean, those people suck. Not you guys. You guys rock. I love our little community. It's restored my faith in humanity. But I mean, for all of the fact that I'm just sitting driving a car right now, I'm grateful for that. All of the things that human beings have got access to, and just that lack of gratitude and that lack of awareness that they're so much better off than most people, and they still just choose to be fuckheads online. That's how they want to spend their days. They wake up like, whose life can I make miserable today? Hello, Huck. How you doing? I'm actually in a great mood because my beautiful friend Taya, who lives in Maui, touched base this morning right before I headed out the door, and I'm just so relieved. I wasn't like worried that she wasn't okay because I know this woman very well, and also where she lives is not where the fires are. However, she's also the warrior type that just, I mean, warrior or not, I'm so worried, fighter type, that she's just in and hands dirty as soon as she has to be. But it was just a joy to read her message and have a quick chat with her and, you know, got that constant, I hope they're okay. It's like whenever anything happens around the world, as much as social media sucks, I love the check-in feature on Facebook. When you've got friends who are travelling or live somewhere where there's a terrorist attack or a disaster of some description and they're able to check in and let everyone know they're safe. That's one of the positives of social media as far as, or Facebook as far as I'm concerned. And there's not many, but that's a good one. But when an island is completely cut off and no power, no internet, and, you know, part of my heart lives in Maui, just like part of Taya's heart lives in Tasmania, and it's just an awful feeling. But I mean, I didn't let it make me anxious or stressed. I knew that as soon as Taya could contact people, she would. But it was just such a great way to start the week that I heard from her. And even despite what they're going through, her message was full of love and positivity and hopefulness, you know? It is. It's Monday. I'm on my way to work, Huck. And I had the Monday blues, and then I heard from Taya, and I was like, whoop, whoop. Thank you, Scout. Yeah, I'd tell you the correct spelling of Taya, but I think the phonetic one is better. Your version is good because it's the phonetic spelling. We're nearly at the car park. I'll be able to put on my face. Put things in perspective, though. Like, work was really, really hideous on Friday. And I was regretting not taking today as a work from home day. Like, I really would have been better off if I'd been more, because I'm working from home on Friday and I've got to come into town on Friday night, which sucks. But I'm going to look at my calendar tomorrow and see if I can swap and work from home tomorrow and come into the office on Friday. I do actually have builders coming to do quotes for my bathroom, so if they are available tomorrow, I might book them in and see if I can work from home on that basis. But one of my nephews is home from university with his girlfriend, and I want to see him. I haven't seen him since, well, we've teleconferenced. I think I haven't seen him for a couple of years now, so very excited at the thought of seeing Will Jr. He's Junior because my brother's Will as well. He doesn't actually have Junior as part of his name. It's just what we call him. Oh, thank you, Scout. Yeah, look, Taya's already, I mean, it has been the whole time, just trying to help wherever they can. And I mean, I said it in headstones and headlines chat the other day. I mean, if there's any community on the planet that has the capacity to recover from something like this, it's definitely Maui. It's a benefit of being, there's sort of, it's weird, the world over there are these little islands like Tassie and Maui, and we're all connected because there's just something about living on a little island. It's a different mentality and strong community, because even though there's planes and boats and ways to get to and from islands, like, there's a feeling of isolation as well, which makes the community She didn't say Scout. I'll ask her though, because anything that I can put out there, I'll definitely share it with you guys. Because I mean, even when we had the really bad bushfires here in 2018, people were very quick to start sending things and doing stuff, and it wasn't actually what they needed. And also, unfortunately, there will be organisations and individuals who will try to profit from this as well. So as soon as I've got, and I was looking for some yesterday or Saturday, but as soon as I have any information on, what they need, and it's being asked through a reputable relief aid organisation, I'll put it on my community page. But I mean, all Taya said was, with every person they're helping, another person appears. Like, it's just monumental, the amount of people needing help. I mean, there's so many people that are now homeless, and it's pretty interesting. Like, I was listening to, I think Francesca put me on. Yeah, Francesca put me onto the Washington Post. They put the press conference up yesterday. They streamed the live press conference yesterday, and they've already set up a lot of camps for people that are now homeless. And they were talking about, accommodation, because, I mean, this land is gone. Like, this whole village is just, and there's 2 other fires happening on the island as well. But I'm pretty sure it was really bad audio because, again, they've had no power and crappy internet and so on. But one of the many people who spoke was saying that at the moment accommodation's actually not a concern. Like, they can accommodate people at the moment. So, but yeah, it's always interesting, isn't it? Like, the call goes out for what they actually need, and it's often not what you think it'll be. And that was the problem we had in, I mean, it sounds weird saying problem because it was lovely that people wanted to help, but what people actually needed compared to what people were donating, and what we really needed, because the whole Tasman Peninsula was cut off, were people with boats to actually get stuff to all of the little towns that were isolated on the peninsula. Obviously, things like water are very important, but again, you've got to sort of have the capacity to get it. But yeah, as soon as I know anything, I'll definitely put something up on my wall about that. But it was only a very quick little connect this morning. Understandably, she's got a lot of people to check in with, whilst also still being part of the relief team. So she's got a bit going on. But just that amazing feeling of somebody that you love and you're not able to reach them, and knowing what's going on where they live and how horrifying it is. It was just so beautiful to hear from her. But she'll definitely let me know who the best people are to get things to. And I mean, Hawaii is an amazing state because there's several islands, and I imagine there's a fair bit of relief coming from all of the other islands as well. And they're all really close to each other. Like, if you island hop and use planes, they're like 20, 30-minute flights max. You literally just take off, like I said earlier, and they give you a tropical juice and then you're landing. In fact, one flight, I can't remember if it was between Maui and Hawaii, or I think it might have been. I think that was the shortest flight I took. I don't think we even got a juice. Like, Oahu to Maui, we got juice. And then Hawaii to back to Oahu, we got a juice, but I think between Maui and Hawaii we didn't. Like, it was a really quick flight. I think that's a 20-minute one. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was really quick though. Like, she's very calm, very centered, very grounded, very content, knowing that Maui's going to get through this. You know, like, no doom and gloom, just gorgeous, strong warrior woman energy. But I think for the most part, for all of them right now, it's just the unknown, and it's the missing, and also processing the loss of people they know and love as names are being released to friends and family. So I think that's where they're sort of at the moment. It's the biggest stressor for all of them is waiting for information, waiting to hear from people. That's where they're really suffering right now. And I mean, you know, me having a beautiful friend in Maui and having met many of her beautiful friends and all the little animals and critters that I met as well. And, you know, like, I had anxiety clearly for not hearing from her, but I also wasn't letting it overwhelm me because I know that she would reach out as soon as she could. But for them, like, for their island, like, they're all connected on this island because it's tiny, and, you know, like, there's somebody that's growing pumpkins on one part of the island who trades their pumpkins for someone else who's got a fishing boat and in a different village, and, you know, or someone who's got a dairy farm. Like, they all, when Taya spent one day with Anastasia and I, we went and sort of circumnavigated the top half of the island, and every single car that went past beeped and waved and did the little is it shaka? The little hand, one pinky finger and thumb, dip dip dip. That thing, like, wherever we went, that we were doing shaka. Everyone knew Taya's car. It was a little, or it is a little mini, but it's like a little mini van. Like, it's the size of a mini, but it's got a longer back on the back of it, like a little station wagon, but tiny. And so the day that Anastasia and I went tootling around the countryside, everyone was beeping g'day to us too, thinking we were Taya. It was actually great because we got treated like locals. We didn't get treated like tourists because some of the tourists on Maui were revolting. Yeah, the unknown does suck. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on how we can all help if people want to. And obviously I won't be forcing anyone to help, but I'm more than happy to share that information out there. Like I was saying, I mean, down here with our massive fires in 2018, we had incredible generosity. Like, people were unbelievable. And this community, this island, rallied as well. But it's interesting, what you think they might need isn't actually what they do need. And often, even the mainland fires in 2019, 2020, you know, the media actually had to start saying, can people stop donating whatever it was because we've got too much and it's actually spoiling, or, you know, there's no way we can actually get it out to the communities. And it's often things like you know, how things get to the communities is where people need help. Like, just that basic, you know, great to donate all this shit, but who's got a boat to help us get it down there, or whatever it might be. So anyway, we'll keep you posted. I just put foundation in my eye. I've had a great morning and now I'm like, foundation eye. I'm just going to see if I've got some eye drops. I do. Give me a moment, groovers. Now I'm going to walk into the office and they'll be like, "Are you okay? Why are you crying?" I'm going to be like, "No, they're not tears. They're eye drops." Because why do we do that? Why do we get a sponge with bloody foundation on it and wipe it across our eyeball? Like, this is live YouTube, people. Now getting a tissue so I can wipe away the tears. Give my eyeball a moment to just recover from that, and then I will reapply foundation on that part of my face. Bloody hell. I'm such a dag when it comes to putting on makeup anyway. I don't need hiccups like that. Probably turning the heater off my face is probably a good thing too. Sorry about that. I can't read chat because I've got foundation and no powder. Give me a sec. Someone said to me once, "Why don't you flick your camera around so I can watch you putting your makeup on?" I was thinking, what a boring bloody thing. Maybe I should because I'm clumsy but I'd have so many people going, "That's not how you put makeup on." I'd be like, "Yeah, I know, and I don't care because I don't wear much." There's many days I go to work and I don't bother as well. Like, Tasmanians, up until recently, you didn't even see fake boobs here. Like, we're kind of a bit of a be natural island. That's why I love Maui too, because that's the thing, you're on an island. You don't have to worry about stilettos and fake tits and makeup. But the younger generation is starting to bring all of that stuff here. There's quite a few plastic surgeons here now that are, pandering to the younger generation and getting their boob jobs and Botox and collagen and lip plumping and all that weird shit. But, I mean, for me, year 12 school form, or like my senior year, we call it year 12, I wore mascara and a tinted lip balm. That was the makeup I wore to your prom. It does hurt. Yeah, if I didn't, I mean, look, there are some days, like I said, I'm like, no. But I've got clients today, and I don't know why I always feel like it's best to make a bit of an effort. Especially because we represent workers, so we can often go to work I mean, I'm not today, but it's not uncommon for us to be in jeans. And, you wear like a really nice top and nice boots and stuff, but and being in jeans makes us instantly relatable to our clients. Like, I really love it. Same with us swearing, like a lot of my clients are tradies and truckies and they appreciate the F-bomb whilst giving legal advice. But, yeah, I don't know. I've still got that. Make a bit of an effort. And the only other time I wear makeup is if I was going to like an actual function or out to dinner or, I actually like the ritual of getting ready to go out. Special occasion. I look like Betty Davis in What Happened to Baby Jane when I wear makeup. I can't wear bright red lipstick. I turn into an instant hang on, I don't put any colour on, I just brush my untamed. I don't get my eyebrows plucked, so I have a little brush that sort of just, not that I don't have a very bushy eyebrow either, but I do my little eyebrow brushing. Yeah, I look like an absolute slapper. Cannot wear red lipstick. Now I've just put mascara. I blinked and it's all under my eyeball on the good eye. So now I'm going to have that. I look like I've got a black eye. So I've got red eye on the right and smudge eye on the left. This is why I don't flick the camera around. My God, it'd be comedy though for you guys. So I know this. I know the Maui stuff's not. Well, if it's, I think I saw a comment that there are people saying it was arson. So it could potentially be a crime story. I've written episode 3 of the mushroom mystery, but also, I mean, news of anything major doesn't really happen on weekends. But I have got some updates for that, some pretty interesting shit. But nothing that warranted a live. But it certainly has, the mushroom mystery and murder has definitely got Australia, well, and the world now. Like there's so many news outlets in the UK and America, in particular Canada, covering it. Like everyone's totally into it. It's awful. I mean, it's terribly sad that 3 people lost their lives. But Ian Wilkinson, the one who's still in hospital and waiting for a liver transplant, like people in his community are offering to donate part of their livers and stuff. Like it's pretty full on. Strong sense of community again, these weird little country towns can also be pretty incredible when tragedies occur. All right, I'm nearly done. Redo my top knot. Okay. I don't do red lipstick. I look like a slapper. You sound like me when I put makeup on. I am. I was going to do a live once, but people these days just don't want to cam up at all. But I was going to do a live and get everyone to basically cam up and show what they look like in red lipstick. I mean, I'm jealous of women who can. Well, I mean, I don't even know if I would wear it if I could, but I'm not jealous, but I respect women who can wear it and don't look like slappers. I don't even respect. I just admire that they have whatever combination of skin and skin color and whatever it is going on that they can pull it off. I have to wear the sort of, I'm putting it on now, the more neutral sort of light brown, browny pinky, sort of rose and brown that kind of colour. Does this have a name? Praline Rose. My boss sells lipstick. She can wear red lipsticks, but she sells Lip Sense, which I think is an American brand. I'm not buying. I wanted to try it because I'm amazed that she has lipstick on when she comes in the morning and still there when she leaves. But I think it's really drying on my lips. You wear a wine coloured, like a dark, like a red wine. Like a burgundy. Because I mean, I can get away with the reds that have got a bit of blue in them, but it still stands out too much on my face. I still feel unbelievably self-conscious. Like even when I modelled, we didn't wear lipsticks. We wore, oh no, we did, but they had to be very pale and neutral. A rose, yes, I've got praline rose, and it's at lip sense. It's like painting. You've got to put on 3 layers of it, and it's a very pale one, the one that I'm wearing. And then you can put which I'm doing right now, you can either do the shiny gloss or you can do like a matte. Layer on top. But it's weird too, lip sense. Like you don't do it like when you put lipstick on normally, like you do bottom, top, and you kind of rub them together. Like you kind of have to hold your mouth open and paint each lip. And then I need 3 layers for it to stay on my face. And I still don't have it on my face by the end of the day. Yeah, dark purple burgundy. You guys, I don't know if you're around back way back, but I was subscribed for a little while to an American mystery box that was called Single Swag. It was a really weird name. And I don't know why singles even really mattered, but there was a purple lipstick that I put on, and it was like, I don't know what was in it, but it was like paint, and there was no way in hell it was coming off. And people were giving me suggestions on how to get rid of it, and none of them worked. And I kept going, oh, I just need one of those sugar lip scrubs. And then I actually thought about making one, and I can't remember what. I think I had to use something like nail polish remover to get it off. My lips were so dry and horrible after it. And then I opened, might have been around the time of my birthday, and I was saving a present to open on my birthday. And one of the things in the present that was in the background of that live the whole time was a lip scrub that actually would have removed the purple. But especially because purple's my least favourite colour. And I had this bright purple lipstick on that was not going to come off. For love nor money. It was traumatic. It's interesting though, isn't it? Like, I mean, I guess I'm on Sleuths and Smooth Criminals, but even with Maui in the headline, like, no one cares on YouTube. If my live was everyone in Krama sucks dicks, or if I put a particular creator's name in the title, the masses would come running. But, you know, an American state that is facing a huge road to recovery after some absolutely horrific and terrifying firestorms. Like even headstones and headlines, if she covers Bullhorn Betty, 300, 400, she had like 40 watching her live yesterday about the fires on Maui. Makes your teeth look whiter. Yeah, I think putting a little bit of makeup on and a bit of lippy on does that for people. But yeah, she's, I mean, headlines, headstones, what are these names? Sort of built her channel on Bullhorn Betty. And yeah, she'll get a few hundred, but good on her for doing Maui. And I think she was doing it again today, maybe. And it goes back to that, is it all down to it's not in my backyard, so who gives a fuck? I mean, another comment I saw in the Washington Post live was someone saying, who gives a fuck? Or people like Oprah Winfrey live in Maui. It's just an island full of rich people. Well, there is part of Maui where rich people live. Absolutely. There's parts of Tasmania where rich people live. Lahaina's this little coastal town. Just because Mick Fleetwood had a bar there. And even if it is, I mean, it's a bit like how people reacted to the Titan disaster. Oh, well, who gives a fuck? It was 5 wealthy people. No great loss. Why isn't it as just as sad if it's 5 poor people? Still lives. Oh no, she rips BHB to shreds. Scout. I wasn't saying Bullhorn Betty's covering Maui. Headstones and Headlines is a creator who pretty much built her channel taking the piss out of Bullhorn Betty and also exposing her for her exploitation of victims. And she usually will have 300 or 400 people watching her when she's talking about Bullhorn Betty. But on the weekend when Headstones and Headlines was covering the Maui fires, she had 40 people watching. And half of us in her chat were from other parts of the world, not the US. I don't know if Bullhorn Betty's covering the Maui story, but I think you misunderstood. Oh, snap. I doubt Bullhorn Betty would be covering it. Critical K might be on Facebook considering she filed her court documents while pleading poverty when she got sued from Hawaii. I doubt it though. Isn't it weird? Not just weird what people prioritise in terms of coverage, but also the audience, what they prioritise in terms of viewing. So true. Great minds and hearts. I didn't know the and hearts, but I knew the great minds think alike bit. It's very cold. It's 3 degrees. I have a snowflake on my dashboard. 3 degrees Celsius. I'll clarify that. Not 3 Fahrenheit. That'd be fucking cold. Considering 32 Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius, that might give you a bit of an idea. So we're a bit over 32, but not much. But I'm warm. I've got warm clothes on. And the heating will kick in by mid-afternoon, and we've all got heated throw rugs. It's so funny. Sitting at a desk giving legal advice, sometimes in a beanie, scarf, gloves, and a heated throw rug. If only they could see us. I actually had a client in with me last week, and it was so cold in the office that she's a chatter and is happy to hang out for the full hour. But halfway into the interview, she's like, our appointment, she's like, I can't stay in here any longer. It's freezing. And I'd given her my throw rug, and she was still cold. I'm very bundled up. I've got thermal leggings on, and I've got a skivvy and a big warm turtleneck jumper and a little corduroy skirt, and I've got knee-high boots. But I've also got this yummy woolen jacket thing that's sleeveless because I don't like being stuck in jackets and I feel like I can't move. Like I can't drive my car wearing a blazer or anything like that. I have to take it off. Not that I wear blazers, but you know, like any sort of jacket, anything fitted that's over the top of an outfit, it's like, if it's a cardigan or something, I'm fine. But if it's rigid fabric, but I've got this sort of Italian wool thing that's got a hood and it's like a Paddington Bear duffel coat, but it doesn't actually have sleeves. And it's really warm. I've got a scarf. I've got fingerless gloves. Send us some warm weather and sunshine. Yay. It's actually been beautiful. Can't really complain. Like, I haven't had to have my gas tank filled up for my heating nearly as much as I have had to last year. Like, it hasn't been a bad winter. We've had some cold days, but you want cold days when it's winter. I mean, that's what winter's all about. You feel restricted too? Yeah. And I mean, I strip off all this stuff and chuck it in the back of my car. And I mean, I might be really cold for a few seconds, but then I'm in the car with the heating on. But yeah, I feel so restricted. It's weird. I see people driving in like, even men when they're driving in their suit jackets, I'm like, oh, yuck. I can't do it. Can Neri do it? But to sum up my life this morning, I'm so happy to have heard from my beautiful friend Taya in Maui. Relieved to know that she's safe. Not surprised to know that she's already and has been getting her hands dirty and pitching in and helping as much as she can. But she said the real thing at the moment that is awful is that they're all just waiting to hear about all the people that are missing and that they know and love, and just wanting to know, where they are and if they're okay. But it was really promising hearing from Taya too, because they haven't had any power or internet. So for her to be able to touch base with everyone was really lovely. Very special way to start the day and the week. Summer here, but cold and raining for a month. Jesus. Because you're in England, aren't you, Mandy? Everyone who comes to Tasmania from England in the middle of our winter, they're like, oh, this is beautiful weather. It's just like our summers. I'm so done with the cold. That's why I'm eventually moving to South Carolina in the sun and fun. I loved New York in winter, but it was all new for me because we don't have like white Christmases and we don't have snow at sea level very often, like once in every 4 or 5 years, maybe every 6 years, and it only lasts for like a day. But we don't have to shovel snow off our driveways. Or I remember when I used to go to church with my mom and sister in Kansas City, like my host mother would start the car up like 20 minutes before we had to leave just so it would defrost all the ice and snow off it. Yeah, I was pretty sure you were in England, but yeah. Honestly, so many problems come here and they're like, in the middle of our winter on a really shitty day, they're like, this weather is delightful. It's exactly like our summers. It always makes me laugh. I will definitely scout. I'll definitely pass on your love and prayers. I know they're feeling it. The snow is beautiful, but the cold goes right through. And the other thing, too, is the snow is beautiful at the start, and then it turns into that grey slush that is not beautiful. Fuck, it was funny, though, like in Kansas City, just learning to walk on snow and ice. And I'm really clumsy anyway, and I provided hours of comedy entertainment for my American schoolmates, just watching me wipe out all the time on my butt. Constantly slipping on snow and ice. Well, mainly on ice, but yeah, I wasn't very agile. It was totally unfamiliar territory for me. Pepsi and Mila love the snow. I love seeing dogs frolicking in the snow when they love it. When it snowed at my house a few years ago, there's a video on my Tasmania calling one, and it was when I still had Biscuit. And Biscuit loved the rain. Like, she'd go out into her enclosure and get wet and sit out there just getting rained on and loved it. And she'd come into the shower with me. Like, she loved water. I had a tub out on my deck that she treated like a giant bowl and would drink water out of it. And she fell into it a few times and wasn't remotely fussed about it. Not very cat-like at all. But when it snowed, I opened up the door because she couldn't get off my deck, whereas Sunny has never been on the... Well, she's been on the deck supervised, and when I picked her up because she was trying to get off it, I copped a mouthful, and I've never done it again because it was just too distressing for both of us. But I opened the door to see if Biscuit would go out in the snow, and she didn't. But she also probably had never seen it before. But yeah, she wasn't keen on frolicking in the snow. Bring your raincoat. Well, thank you, Groovers, for spending a bit of time with me. I've got to get into the office and get on with a day of lots of things. We're just so busy at the moment. I really, 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 really want some quiet days in my calendar. Biscuit was so one in a million. I keep getting memories on Facebook of her, and I've uploaded all of my photos off my phone onto Google Photos, and they keep creating little videos, and so many of them are of Biscuit. She just cracks me up. She was such a character, that cat. As is Sunny Bum, but Sunny knows she's a cat. Biscuit thought she was a dog. And my other tabby, Oliver, thought he was a dog too. Must be the brown tabbies. The grey tabby, she's all about being a cat, a spoilt, pampered princess. But she's worth it. I'll give her lots of love from her Auntie Scout. Have a great day, beautiful people. And yeah, if I can get some verified organisations that are helping, like with Maui Relief, I'll definitely put them on my community post page, both on this channel and also my Tasmania Calling one. Apparently, Emily Flotilla said Tasmania Calling popped up in her algorithm on the weekend, so I might have to do some more stuff over there. But have a great evening, Groovers. Lots of love, and today the most love I'm sending straight to Maui because they need it. And I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye, beautiful people.